All right, welcome to the Explainer. So get this. For the first time in over 50 years, humans are actually going back to the moon. This is the story of Artemis II, a mission that isn't just a sequel to Apollo, but really, it's the start of a whole new chapter in our journey out into the stars.
You know that famous saying, to the moon and back, right? Well, NASA's got a new spin on it for this adventure, around the moon and back. And that's not just some clever tagline, it is literally the game plan for humanity's big return to deep space.
So, this is the story of us picking up a journey that we kind of put on pause way back in 1972. After 5 decades of sticking pretty close to home, just in Earth's backyard, we're finally venturing back out there, pushing the limits of what we thought was possible all over again.
Now, you might be wondering what's so different this time. The Apollo missions, they were all about one thing, landing, getting boots on the ground. Artemis II? It's a whole different ballgame. This is a supercritical 10-day test flight. The main goal isn't to walk on the surface, but to fly all the way around the moon, test every single system, and, most importantly, bring that crew home safe.
But that begs a pretty big question, right? If we went to the moon back in 1972, why the 50-year gap? Well, after that last Apollo mission, humanity's focus, it just shifted. So let's dig into what happened and why the moon is now squarely back in our sights.
So for decades, really, all of our attention and our money was directed much, much closer to home. We were building the space shuttle program and then the International Space Station. But a renewed political push from recent administrations got the ball rolling again, and that all led to the big success of Artemis I, that uncrewed test flight that proved the new hardware works. And that flight basically lit the fuse for this new lunar era. And this is absolutely crucial. This time, it is not just about planting a flag and taking a few pictures. We're going back for some serious science. We're going to search for valuable resources like water ice, maybe even helium-3. And we're going to test the exact technologies we'll need to one day go to Mars. The goal this time is to stay. Okay, so how is this all actually going to work? We're talking a round trip of nearly 1,000,000 kilometers. Let's break down the journey and the absolutely incredible technology that's making this whole thing possible. This 10-day flight is like a meticulously choreographed ballet in space. From the moment of launch to the final splashdown, every single step is designed to push the spacecraft systems to their limits. A big part of that is the crew performing a ton of checks while they're still in Earth's orbit. That way, they're close enough for a quick trip home if anything looks even slightly off. And this right here, this is one of the most brilliant parts of the plan, and it really shows how focused they are on safety. This free return trajectory is an absolutely elegant failsafe. Basically, it uses the moon's own gravity as a giant slingshot to pull the capsule back to Earth. It means the crew can get home even if their main engines completely fail. How cool is that? Get a load of this number. 322 feet. Just try to picture that. That is the staggering height of the Space Launch System, the SLS rocket. It is taller than the Statue of Liberty. This is the most powerful rocket ever built, and it's designed to be the heavy lifting backbone for this whole new era of deep space exploration. And sitting right on top of that beast is the Orion capsule. This is going to be the crew's home for 10 days. And get this, it's got about as much interior space as 2 minivans. So yeah, it's going to be a tight squeeze, but it is packed with everything needed to keep 4 people alive and working out in the black. All right, now for what is probably the most violent, most critical test of the entire mission, the return. The Orion capsule is going to slam into Earth's atmosphere at over 40,000 kilometers per hour. That is 32 times the speed of sound. At that kind of speed, the heat shield has to withstand temperatures half as hot as the surface of the sun. Think about that for a second. There is zero room for error. But beyond all the rockets and the incredible physics, this is, at its core, a human story. And at the heart of this mission is a remarkable and truly historic crew of 4. And this crew, wow, they represent the future of space exploration. It's commanded by NASA's Reed Wiseman, and it includes Victor Glover, who's set to become the first Black astronaut to fly on a lunar mission, Christina Koch, the first woman, and Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency will be the first non-American. They are literally breaking barriers as they get ready to travel farther from Earth than anyone has in 50 years. Now, as monumental as Artemis II is all by itself, its true purpose is really to be a stepping stone.
This flight around the moon is all about paving the way for the next, even more ambitious goal, actually landing on it again.
So you can think of this mission as the final, full-scale dress rehearsal. If everything goes according to plan, it clears the path for Artemis II, and that is the mission that aims to land the first woman and the first person of color on the moon's south pole. After that, missions to build a permanent, sustainable human presence there.
But progress on this scale, it doesn't come cheap, not by a long shot. To develop the SLS rocket, the Orion capsule, and all the ground systems needed to support them, we're talking an investment of over $50 billion in the last 2 decades alone. And that huge number really highlights not just the program's ambition, but also the intense public debate that's been happening around its budget and all the delays.
So you have these immense financial stakes, and you have these daunting technological challenges. And it all leads to this final, crucial question. With a price tag that high, is this flight around the moon the right investment for humanity's next giant leap? Well, the success or failure of Artemis II will go a long way toward answering that.